Yeah, the boys are on the boat ringing the office, going, look out the window, look out the window. It's our master.
This is the Ben Taylor Podcast, the home of marine industry insights. Enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ben Taylor Podcast. Welcome back. We've got today's episode is a collaboration with Super Yacht Services Guide, a super yacht services directory that's trusted by a huge amount of captains and crew all around the world on board larger yachts to find really trusted, reputable services. And we're going to talk to one of them, Marine Results. So good to see you, Lockie.
Hey, nice to meet you.
So give us a little context. What do you guys do? What's your
So Marine Results was set up in 2003.
Okay.
With a director and with two directors. One who I think he might have come from the America's Cup at the time, and another who just been doing done multiple around the world races. Set the record on Enza and Club Med and some pretty big boats. And they saw the need for a rigging company within the UK. So they set up Marine Results and very quickly became very reputable for doing big boats. So boats like Timoneer, which at the time I think might have been the biggest super yacht in the world.
Okay.
An M5, which was Mirabella 5 at the time, which most definitely was the biggest super yacht at the time. They were some of the initial projects they did. So they were thrown very much into the deep end from the start. And then over the years, they've built the company into what it is today.
And so when you say rigging, how is it, like just a part of rigging? Is it the whole thing? Is it maintenance?
We specialize in the whole mast system, the deck gear, basically everything almost from the deck up is our specialty. So we do the winches, deck gear, the full service of all the masts. We work with the OEMs for the parts we need to get from the OEMs. We do a lot of the service in-house ourselves, and we also do all the rope work.
So what would be typical, like a yacht captain phoning you up, going, something's
typical,
broken with a new kit or something like that?
There's two sort of parts. There's the typical, the phone rings at 2:00 in the morning because someone in the Caribbean's broken something, and we need to either come up with a solution just remotely, or we need to get some guys on a plane the next day to get out to the boat. And then we have our regular maintenance schedule. So every year there's some regular maintenance that needs doing on the boat, and that varies from boat to boat. And there's also 5-year and 10-year, 20-year services, and each of those require more and more things to bring to the mast and the rigging.
Yeah.
So normally the annual services are just inspection and service of everything with the mast still in the boat, and then the 5-year and the 10-year and the 20-year, 15, 20 years, the masts come out of the boat, and we fully pull the mast to pieces. We might pull all the captives out of the boat and service those, all the deck gear off the deck, and it just depends on what the boat needs and where they're at in their service cycle. We're starting to see a lot of boats getting to 20 years old now, a lot of super yachts. So there's some big services happening now where, the boats are almost stripped completely off the deck, of everything off the deck, comes up to us, we service it all, send it all back to the boat. Yeah.
And so you mentioned the Caribbean there.
Yeah.
We're currently in Mallorca.
Yep.
You got a base in the UK as well?
Yeah, so we got a base.
How do you serve the world?
So the company was set up originally in the UK and just was a traveling team all the time. And then with the joys of Brexit, we realised the need to set up in Palma.
Okay, yeah.
So we set up in Palma. So we have a full workshop, which is where we are now.
Yeah.
We also have a satellite, an office in STP, and then like a satellite workshop, which is a container based in STP.
Right. Okay. What do they look like? A satellite office? You talk about like one
or
two like local people,
in Palma
how does it work?
In Palma here we have 18 people.
Right. Okay.
And then we still have a UK office and workshop, and I think there's another 7 or 8 based up there. It sort of varies a little bit depending on how much they have on. And then in STP, which is sort of our big main operation, we also have a full office with all our project management team, our admin team. One of the directors is based there, right? That's where I'm based from.
Yeah.
And then our container is an office part for the boys to work out of, but then also a mini workshop as well. So we have everything there. But then we also have a satellite workshop in Villanova, another one in Italy. And we're very much specialized and set up to travel. So we have big boxes and pallets and crates and stuff where we can pack tools, pack all our lifting equipment, get it all on the back of the truck.
So you guys can go to the boat rather than wait until they're in the right place and maintain it.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're currently in the planning of logistics of a trip to Greece to go put a 55-meter mast in Greece.
Right. Okay.
So, we're pretty well set up for it. We have checklists of stuff to do and load everything up on the back of a truck and send it.
Yeah. And so you've mentioned some quite impressive projects already.
Yep.
I believe you've done one recently that's a J class.
Yes, we have.
Can you give us an idea of why it's so technical, why it's so specialist to do something like that?
Well, actually, I think we did Shamrock in the UK, and I think that's probably one of the more special projects because it is the only wooden. I think it's the only wooden J class still going. It's very much modernised now, but it's had a full refit. So it was sitting in La Ciotta, I believe, and pretty run down, and it was bought, and it's now been fully refitted. And we did all the mast work on that. I believe we did some rope work on there. And it actually went sailing last week, I think, for the first time. Proper sailing.
And it worked.
Yeah, and everything worked on it. So that was great. You know, the guys went out and you know, sometimes there's a few little teething problems, but I believe they went out sailing and everything was great.
It's good to see it as well.
Yeah,
once you've done all the work, you see on the water, like it's working, it's sailing, that's good.
It's 130 years old or whatever it is, I can't remember, but apparently it was pretty cool to see it sailing up the Solent for the first time in a while. Yeah. So that was, it was pretty cool. It sailed past our office.
Awesome. Yeah. I hope you got a picture.
Yeah, the boys are on the boat ringing the office, going, look out the window, look out the window. As they sailed past. So
that's awesome.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And so like looking forward, what's kind of the exciting areas? Are you seeing more support in certain areas of rigging, certain geographies, anything like that?
Yeah, I think boats are getting bigger. That's a pretty definitive
I keep on hearing that.
Boats are definitely getting bigger. So we are, you know, the sort of the flip side of that is where we're probably traveling to boats less a little bit now because they're coming to service centres like Palma because all the services are here in Palma. So
right, and then they come into a shipyard, just get all the work done all at once, and it just turns out more efficient. Yeah.
You know, we're still seeing boats go to NCA, which is where we have an office, Villanova, where we have an office. We don't have any teams based there full time, but it's very easy. We just jump on a plane and go.
Yeah.
So and there's a lot of growth in Palma for sure. I mean, next winter we had a planning meeting the other day, and we're sort of looking over what we have on next winter, and it's
going to be more.
It's more and more. Yeah, you know, we've got everything from a big Perini through to some 43-meter yachts, and then I think we've even got a little 60-footer that we're doing as well. So there's a full range of boats, which is awesome, and it's everything from redoing all the rods to rod to carbon conversions, which a lot of boats are starting to do nowadays. So taking the rod rigging off, putting carbon on. And that's always an interesting project because the rig's not designed to have carbon, the boat's not designed to have carbon, so there's all the things you got to think about to make sure you're not missing something.
It takes a bit of experience to understand what's going to happen, what's going to be the reality.
Exactly, and getting the pricing right on that sort of a project because it's such a big project that, you know, so getting the pricing right to the captain, because there's nothing worse for the captain than you know, he gets an estimate from us.
Yeah, they allocate the budget.
And then he allocates the budget.
What happened to that number? That was a really nice number.
And we've spent a lot of time refining that process. It's it's an area where we've really tried to refine.
It's be a bit more predictable, a bit more kind of...
Exactly,
just putting transparency first, making sure they know what they're getting involved in.
We try to basically, whatever number we give the boat at the start is the number they get at the end. And that's something we've worked a lot on internally to try and get it right for them. And when you're dealing with some big projects, it's hard. You know, there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
But no, it's something we pride ourselves on. So
All right. Super. Thank you very much for your insights, Lockie.
No worries.
Cheers.
Cool. Cheers.
Everybody, that's another episode of the Ben Taylor podcast. Make sure you're following here to see plenty more similar to this. And thank you for the collaboration with Super Yacht Services Guide, a global super yacht services directory with really trusted services just like Marine Results. All being well, I'll see you very soon. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Ben Taylor podcast, the home of marine industry insights. We'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.